What's good, y'all? It's Ali back at it again with another YouTube video in which I give you guys mental models you can use to become extremely successful and accomplish all the goals you are after. So let's get right into it. So today I'm talking about time because I want you guys to think about time or think about the forms of time in a way that can actually help you achieve your goals. Because a lot of you guys are limited by the way that you view time being the past and the present and the future. And if you're able to think about these three forms of time in a way that benefits you, you basically rule the world, my nigga. Like it goes crazy. So as we always do, we define everything on here, but instead of just saying defining time, I'm going to define each of the forms of time. So under time is obviously, we got the past, then we got the present, and the last but not least, we got the future, right? So we got the past, present, and future. So when we're talking about past, we're talking about things that have happened. What has happened before now, everything that you've experienced, right? That's what the past is. When we're talking about the present, we're talking about right here, right now, as I'm making this video and talking to you. When we talk about the future, we are talking about what is to come, what is going to happen, but we can't see it yet. So how do we think about these forms of time in a way that's actually going to help you succeed in your life, right? Because that's why you're fucking here. Well, when it comes to the past, I want you guys to think of the past as learned lessons, right? That's how you guys should be seeing the past. Because to talk about this a little bit, a lot of you niggas right now, you're like, bruh, I got demons from my past. I got trauma. I got all these issues that happened in my past. And that's why the way I am now. And fuck that bullshit. Because none of that is serving you or your goals. And you know that shit too, watching this. You know me saying, oh, or you saying to yourself, oh, this hold me back, or my mom was this way, I grew up in this circumstance. Like, nigga, nobody cares, bro. Nobody gives a fuck. And it's not serving you because you still actually want to win. So what you actually need to do instead, when you think about your past, when you think about your past mistakes and the trials and tribulations you've been through, when you think about your suffering, you have to think about, what did I learn though? What did I learn from my past? What happened in my past that I can learn from? Maybe my dad wasn't really around, but I learned what it took to actually become responsible for myself a lot sooner. I realized that, hey, I'm not always going to have people that I care about or that care about me be around me. So what does that mean? I have to become more responsible as a man. I have to learn to become responsible for all of my actions. My actions have consequences. I have to become independent in my own way as a man, right? That's what it means to become a man. You become responsible for all of your problems and your issues, and you become responsible for solving them. So, and you've been able to learn that through what? Through your past, through not having your dad around. It doesn't even have to be that situation. It could be in any other way. Maybe you learned in the past that becoming exceptional requires you to be the exception. Maybe that's something that you've heard before in the past, but maybe it hasn't been real for you until now. You started to really look around and see like, yeah, if I want to become exceptional, I have to be the exception. That means I can't hang around those bum ass guys anymore. I have to cut them off. I have to move on from them. I can't drink or smoke anymore. It doesn't involve me achieving my goals. And everybody else does that. And everybody else is unsuccessful. So I can't do that shit too. So every single time you think about the past or bad shit that has happened in your past or those embarrassing mistakes, think to yourself, what did I learn though? Right? And why am I telling you to think that? Because you use these learned lessons for what? For the present. Guys, that's the whole point here. That's why I say learned lessons. These lessons are used for what? Why do we learn lessons? Why is it important to learn lessons? To ensure that your present actions change. And what is the present form? What is the present for? Right? The present is for action. That's what it's for, action. What we do now, right? What you're able to do now is in the present. You use these learned lessons from your past to be like, okay, this happened to me. This bad thing happened to me. Okay, this is how I'm going to move now. I want to become exceptional, so I must be the exception. I heard that in the past, but it didn't become real for me. But it's real for me now, so let me change my behavior now. Let me cut off those dumbass niggas now. Let me not drink and smoke anymore now, right? Let me make sure other people's expectations are not influencing my actions and my goals now, right? That's the power that the present has, right? It's for what you're able to do today, and that's how you leverage the past for your present, right? So This then takes us to the future. How do we view the future? Because if you understand now, like, okay, Ali, I'm following you here. When I think about my past mistakes and my trauma and all these other things that were holding me back in my past, I just have to be like, okay, what did I learn though? Because at the end of the day, I can't control the past. What I can do is leverage it to ensure that my actions change today. For what? A better future. But when I think about the future, all I kind of see, Ali, is like doubt and uncertainty because I don't know what's going to happen next. So how do I view the future in a way that benefits me? You view it in a way of effort plus sacrifice. And you're like, okay, Ali, what do you mean by that when you say I have to look at the future as effort and sacrifice? Well, when I say that, I mean effort and sacrifice in the present. That's what I mean. Because what you do today determines what you become. The shit that you were doing a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago is what has created your present. That's what has created the current you watching this video. And if you're sitting here and you're like, damn, Ali, I don't kind of fuck with myself. I'm kind of a bum. I'm kind of a dumbass. Well, that's because of the shit that you were doing a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That's what has led to the current you. So you're sitting here uncertain about the future and you're worried about it. Well, if you don't want to worry about what you're going to become, then you have to make sure you are putting a lot of effort and sacrifice in your present to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish or become the man who can accomplish the goals that he wants to accomplish, right? Because how hard you are working now, the work you're putting in now, the lessons that you're leveraging right now is what's going to determine what your future is going to look like. The sacrifices you are making now, and I actually made a video on sacrifice yesterday that I'll link down below so you guys can go watch that because I think it's super valuable for you guys to view sacrifice in the way I talked about. But to sum it up very quickly, basically making sure you're changing your behavior in ways that are going to serve you in the future is how you make sacrifices, right? You're like speaking about how I was talking about cutting off dudes that are not ambitious in your life, that are just distracting you from your goals, making sure you're not partaking in nefarious activities that aren't beneficial for you, like playing video games, smoking, or drinking, right? You change your behavior, you sacrifice those things to become who you want to be and put a lot of effort, time, and energy into improving on whatever path you're on for whatever goals you're trying to achieve. And this effort and sacrifice all happens now. Now. It all leads back to here. And that's probably what you've already noticed by looking at this. When you look at these three forms of time, everything just ends up leading back to here because this is where all your power lies. Your power doesn't lie in the past and it 100% doesn't lie in the future. It lies in now, in what you do today. You think about the learned lessons from your past. You think about your past experiences and be like, what can I learn from that? What can I learn from this situation that I had a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? All this shit that happened to me. How can I use those lessons or those experiences to leverage my present? How can I use that to change the way I take action today? And then it's like, boom, okay, I'm using the past to make sure I'm changing my action to get closer to my goals. And whenever I feel the uncertainty and the doubt of the future, okay, how can I make sure I'm going harder today? How can I make sure I'm working harder today? How can I make sure I'm making sacrifices, AKA changing my behavior in ways that are going to serve my goals in the future today? You see how beautiful this shit really is, guys? All the power is here. You guys think too much about the future, which you can't control. You think too much about the past, which you can't control, which the present is what you can control. And when you just think about these two, it should just bring you back here in what you do today. This is how I want you guys to look at time always. When you think about these metrics of time, when you think about now, you're thinking about action. You're thinking about movement. You're thinking about attacking. When you think about today, when you think about the future, you're like, boom, okay, how am I putting in more effort now? How can I afford to work harder now? How can I make more sacrifices today? When you think about the past and past mistakes and experiences and trauma and shit that has held you back, be like, okay, what can I learn from those moments? What can I learn from those lessons that I've heard? Right? Because oftentimes we need to remember more than we need to learn. You've heard the right lessons. You've heard the be consistent, be disciplined over and over again. Maybe it's not real for you yet. And now that it's real for you, when you think about those past lessons, you act today and change your actions. So yeah, man, let me know how you guys felt about this. Does this make sense? Have you heard some shit like this before when it comes to thinking about time or the three forms of time that we have in the universe and the world? You're like, oh, Ali, you know, that's facts. I should just think about my past in a way that it's just full of lessons that I've learned from or have I experienced that I can use to leverage my present. Whenever I feel the uncertainty and the doubt that comes from the future, I just make sure, hey, how am I putting in more effort today? How am I making more sacrifices today? Because what I do today will determine who I become tomorrow, a year from now, 10 years from now. You know what I'm saying? So if you fucked with that shit, if this completely changed your perspective, like the damn video, because more guys everywhere need to see this shit. They need to realize that I'm a fucking genius and I'm breaking this shit down for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I need more guys in the fam so they can accomplish their goals and reach the peak of their power and masculinity. And it's by seeing things this way and leveraging everything you see to make you stronger and better that you become a winner. So like the video so more guys can see this shit. And of course, fucking subscribe so you can see more vids like this so I can breathe more perspectives and beliefs into your mind that are going to allow you to accomplish all your goals. You know what I'm saying? The best way to live as a man is to seek more power and gain more power. And it's through changing your beliefs and perspectives on the world that you can do that. Seeing everything as a way to get stronger is the way that you can do that. So like, plus subscribe, bro. We got to build the fam. The fam got to get bigger, got to get stronger. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, man. So with that being said, I'll catch you boys in the next YouTube video. Deuces.